This is the plaintiff, Mark Friedman. He says he was hired by the defendant to sort through her father's will and to make sure the executor, her sister, wasn't doing anything illegal. It's insulting to him that he spent so much time working on this case and isn't being paid his fair and agreed upon rate. There's no rhyme nor reason and no bite to this lawsuit or the defendant's countersuit. He's suing for $1,960, the amount he's owed. This is the defendant, Naima Medley. She says the plaintiff basically took her money and said blankety blank you. That's right, he couldn't even requisition a petition for deposition. So where'd all her money go? That's what she wants to know. To 2 emails? The guy's a liar, and she refuses to pay him even a penny more. She's accused of not lawyering up. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $2,000 for providing no services and pain and suffering.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
And welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff was hired by the defendant to monitor her sister, who was the executor of their father's will. And now the defendant won't pay. But the defendant says he defrauded her. It's the case of when there's a will, there's a lawsuit.
Okay. Mark Friedman?
Yes,
You are suing, can you pronounce your name?
Naima.
Naima Medley?
Yeah.
For $1,960 in a balance of a fee you say is owed to you for legal services?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you have a counterclaim against him for $2,000. You want the $1,750 you paid him paid back to you, and you want $250 for pain and suffering. Mr. Friedman, please, you tell me first.
Thank you, Your Honor. The defendant came to me by way of referral from the Brooklyn Bar Association, and she had come to my office on June 1st of 2010 to discuss with me a matter relating to her father's estate and her sister, Tanetta Medley, who she alleged perhaps took money from the estate through a reverse mortgage of property, the only property that was in the estate.
Okay.
I had told her what the fees would be. I had asked her to sign a retainer.
Okay, may I see the retainer is an agreement between a lawyer and their client about the lawyer's services, right?
That's correct.
And do you have the retainer agreement with you?
I do.
And is this what you do, is this your practice, is probate?
Yes, probate
Okay.
is strictly my practice.
Okay. So go on.
I said to her that the amount is $3,500, but she said that she had $1,500 presently. So I had told her that I would accept $1,500 to start the matter.
You were charging $350 an hour for your time.
Correct. So she had given me $1,500, which represents a little bit more than 4 hours of time. So she gave me documents that she had that I needed to review, and at the same time that she was giving me those documents to review, I also went online to review ACRIS files and ACRIS deeds.
What's ACRIS?
ACRIS is an acronym for real estate deeds and satisfactions and anything that relates to real property in the city of New York. So that's what I did. There was a chain of title dating back to 2004, actually to 1999, and there was a showing of the title being changed from, let's say, her sister to her sister and her parents to her parents back to, back to her sister on to the end. And in the end, it was her mother and her father that owned this property prior to her father's demise, which happened in 2010, May 2010.
So go on.
The defendant had alleged through our conversations in my office that the sister had taken out a reverse mortgage and pocketed the money. So I told her that I would review it and I would see if there was any wrongdoing that I can ascertain in a preliminary investigation based upon the information.
Okay, but get there. So what happened? Did she take a reverse mortgage?
So she didn't, no. The father actually did everything according to the way in which it's supposed to be done. I had spoken to legal counsel at Title Vest, which is a title company in New York. I had gone over every
Who got the reverse mortgage, the father or the sister after the death?
The father.
Okay,
before his death. Before his death.
Well, that part I could have guessed.
No, everything was kosher.
What is a reverse mortgage?
A reverse mortgage is when an individual who cannot seem to upkeep their expenses in a month will use the equity in their home to do so. So instead of getting a mortgage where they're paying a bank, for instance, the bank is paying them based upon the value of the equity in the house.
But the idea being that the bank then takes the house?
Upon their death or upon the transfer of the property, the bank has a lien against that property.
So they get paid then?
Correct.
And they get paid with interest?
Correct.
So a reverse mortgage would be somebody getting money for the equity in their home, and the payment plan is that when they die, and not when they die, but when it gets transferred,
correct,
that's when the bank gets their money back.
Correct.
Okay.
So they're receiving, let's say,
all right, so what was the deal? She thought that there was some hanky-panky going on.
With the sister.
And you found out there wasn't by going on the computer. So that she hired you to do that, but what did she hire you to do anything else? She had been locked out of the house by the sister.
Right. And with
tell me what happened. Hold on, I'll be right back with you. Were you and your sister and you living in the same house?
Yes. When my father passed away in May, I moved back into the house in May of 2010. In June,
Why did you move back into the house? You want to keep an eye on things, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So was there some tension between your sister and yourself?
After my father passed away, yes, and I moved back into the house, my sister was upset about it. She didn't want me there for whatever reason. And I felt like she didn't want me there because she was doing some underhanded things with the will and some other bank accounts and so on and so forth. And that's when I hired him.
So when you hired him, were you still living in the same house with the sister?
Yes, I was still living in the same house.
And she locked you out?
She locked me out right after maybe like June 7th, June 8th, sometime around then. That was the first time she locked me out.
When was the next time she locked you out?
October 20th. I was locked out of the house for 3 weeks. So I went to see him November 1st. Okay, and I told him I'm locked out of my house. I went to California. I'm back, and she locked me out again. This is the second time. I said, first of all, I need to put her on notice that I need to.
Why did she let you in the first time for there to be a second time? Like what happened?
She didn't let me in. I had to have a locksmith come and change the locks the first time and this time.
Well, the first time when you changed the locks, did you give her the key or no?
Of course, you have to legally.
Well, I did. Okay, so you give her the key,
yeah,
and then she says thank you and locks you out again.
And so she says thank you. I go on vacation to New York.
Did you say anything to each other? Are you talking to each other during? Who does the cooking? Like, do you just ship?
She's a grown woman.
No, I'm just saying, like, are you walking past each other?
Yes, absolutely. We avoid each other, absolutely.
I mean, you just felt like it smelled wrong.
Of course, because I know my parents and I know my sister.
The part about the reverse mortgage, how had you even learned about that?
I knew about the reverse mortgage. My mother told me about it. Okay. My mother and father took out the reverse.
If your mother told you about it, then you know that it happened while your parents were alive.
And it happened in 2005.
Okay, so it happened while they were alive.
Right,
so
together.
You wanted
they
to
took
know
out the reverse mortgage.
What your sister was doing with the money that your parents had received in the reverse mortgage, and how much money had they received?
Thank you.
Right.
The bill right now is $315,000 owed.
But do you know how much they received?
They received every month about $2,000.
For how many years?
From 2005 till my dad passed away, 2010.
But that math doesn't add up to 310.
There's, I think there was a big
a one-time
lump sum taken out.
So you're trying to get to the bottom of what your sister did with all that money.
Exactly. And that's why I hired
Because she had access to bank accounts that you did not have access to?
Exactly.
I don't understand. Was a case filed in probate court or wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yes, she's the sister is the executrix of under the will,
right.
and I'm there to help her sort out the issues.
So what happened in probate court?
We've never been to court.
We never had. We're not at that stage, Your Honor. We're at the stage of preliminary discovery, where we're discovering whether or not her allegations about her sister are false or true.
Okay, but my question is, where did $310,000 go?
The $310,000 was really $322,000. $170,000 plus was a payoff to an old Chase conventional mortgage that was taken out back in 1999, and then the rest of the money was incurred through a reverse mortgage from 2005 to 2009, where I believe that the father withdrew $2,000 or thereabouts every month for 4 or 5 years. So that was.
Now you're saying we didn't get to court. What did you mean by that?
He did absolutely two things for me. He sent my sister an email, and I have a copy of the emails.
Okay, but he just explained all of the answers to where the monies went. They're not good answers for you, but they're answers.
No.
Where would he get all that if he didn't investigate this?
Yeah, he's repeating what I just told you.
Okay,
he didn't
and
do
he also
any
said
work.
the first mortgage was paid off, and who was the bank?
Chase.
Chase.
Conventional
Where did he
mortgage.
get that? Is that accurate? Is it not accurate that they
Your
had
Honor.
a Chase mortgage?
I believe that their first mortgage was with Chase.
Okay, so he's a good guesser.
So why does death make people greedy?
A lot of times it's jealousy and selfishness. And I find that parents, sometimes they have favorite kids, and
So it brings out all the animosity once they die.
oh, without a doubt, it brings out a lot of animosity, without a question.
Very well put. Very well said. Going inside the courtroom.
I mean, look, I know the answer is not what you wanted to hear because you were hopeful that given a house
he didn't
that's
give me
worth-
any of
I'm
this
sorry,
documentation.
I was in the middle of something. A house that's worth how much? The estimated value of the house is what?
About $450.
No,
What,
about $420,000.
Okay, $420,000, almost $500,000. You were hopeful that there would be some equity here that would be inherited. That doesn't make you a bad person, so I don't know if it sounded bad. It's not bad. I understand that you would have liked to have been able to take care of yourself and yours by receiving some form of inheritance. But if your parents went through it, at the end, it's their money to go through.
You know,
I
Your
mean,
Honor-
that seems like a very. I'm looking at the paperwork, and what is your complaint that he didn't give you this paperwork?
I didn't receive any of that paperwork, no. And he only sent out 2 emails. We sat.
When did the impasse happen between the two of you? When did it get? When
After
did you say you're
Thanksgiving.
fired?
After Thanksgiving.
And what is it that happened to cause that?
He said, well, you're going to have to give me another $3,500 for me to continue.
Okay, another $3,500?
Yeah.
And why? Is that what you said?
What
I have
said
an
to her-
email.
What I said to
Let me see
her.
the email. What did you say to her?
What I said to her was, at the very beginning, it's $3,500. She only paid me $1,750. I'm still waiting for $1,750 that I wasn't paid for the work I've done.
I understand,
then
but you
she
weren't asking for
directs me.
$1,750 at that point. You were asking for an additional $3,500. Did you ever submit a bill to her to justify $5,000 something dollars
did.
an hour?
I did not ask her for an additional $3,500.
I have a copy of the bill.
I
I
have
asked
attached
her.
your pre-bill. Subtract $1,750 that was already
Correct.
received. That's what you owe going forward.
That's
However,
correct.
I will ask you to provide $3,500
Oh, total.
at this time.
Total.
That's
Right.
not what you said. I will
Not
ask
an
you to
additional
provide.
30.
Listen.
Sure.
I will ask you to provide $3,500 at this time to proceed with the petition.
Correct.
Okay. So you made a mistake and asked for double by accident?
No. She
It
already
says
owed me.
$3,500 at this time. So then the question becomes, what you did is worth what to her?
The question is about an accounting. This is
Okay.
not even
All right,
a
everybody stop. Everybody stop. On your lawsuit against her for the remaining $1,960, this is what I am taking into account. I'm taking into account what I think the fair value is of the hours that it should have taken you to go ahead and figure out what you have figured out. I am taking into account the fact that you then sent her a letter, which I can only assume was an error, telling her, unless you pay me double what you owe me, I won't proceed, which then caused her to say, I can't do this, and then the relationship's over, and then, a part of what she was paying you for isn't there. And I'm taking into account on your lawsuit against him, you can't get pain and suffering on a contracts case, and you're not going to get $1,750 back for the work he did, because I find that the work he did is worth $1,750, and therefore it's a wash.
Hold on right there, please.
Let's see what the defendant has to say about this. It's a wash, as the judge says. What's your reaction?
It's a wash.
Think that sounds fair?
I'm not agreeing with what she's saying. It's a wash, but I don't owe him anything. So.
All right. Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
All right, so come on in here. Step in here. Judge says your work wasn't worth what you thought it was either.
The judge,
Or at least what you did was worth that.
The judge misunderstood that letter for $3,500. Unfortunately,
Don't start sounding like a lawyer out here now.
that was
criticizing the judge.
That was 19
Don't go there.
That was nice.
This is your last shot to look good in front of people.
Okay, well, my work is worth the dollar amount that it is. I worked hard on this case. A lot of analysis went into it. Unfortunately, when you sugarcoat it in a courtroom and you look through it in a glance, it doesn't seem to be as extensive as it was, and therefore it was a loss for me.
Harvey?
Okay, this is kind of an important lesson. If somebody puts you in their will and you think you're going to get a lot of money and they decide they spend it before they die, it's their prerogative to do that. You have no dog in that fight. They can spend every penny they've got if they want. That is their money. They do with it what they want. And that will do it for this case. Litigants, for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.